Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
And this is Estella.
And welcome to
Cafecito.
And Crime.
Or Crime and Cafecito.
Either one. We can do both if you like. It could be separated or it could be one
Like
or the other.
Cafe and Crime?
Mm-hmm. No. Always Cafecito.
And Crime.
And Crime.
Or Crimen and Coffee?
No. You're taking it too far. Now you're trying to change
I was
our
just
name.
trying to... No. I was just trying to,
Spice it up.
dilly-dally.
No. Dilly-dally.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. How are you doing today?
Better than you, like always.
Better than me. Yeah, I'm always.
Yeah.
Something's always up with me. I smell like dog. I was when Estela came. I was showering my
Dog.
mascota. I don't even know he's a dog. I think he's like more of a. You would call it a.
I think he's a panda.
No, he's not a panda. No,
he is.
He's not a panda because pandas don't like get excited and jump on you and stuff like that. I think he's more like a hog. That boy's big. And then
But he's not a hog in personality.
Not in personality. No, in personality, he's a panda.
Yeah, por eso. That's what I meant.
He's a panda, yeah. Pero,
And he has the
I'm
same
talking
colors
about-
as a panda,
like
black and white.
Like, I'm talking about, like, in size-wise.
Stature.
Yeah, in stature, he's huge. He's, like, it was so funny because I went into the clinic today, and or the office, and one of the doctors that works with us, he has his dog there porque ya está viejito.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said que he doesn't want to keep him by himself in la casa.
Yeah.
Because tiene miedo que algo le va a pasar and there's nobody home. And this dog, I mean, his teeth are off. I mean, this guy is like probably like 20 years old.
Está pobrecito.
Like that,
Yeah.
like he's at his last end. Se llama Yoshi.
Aw.
Yeah, y entonces, y viene Yoshi, and he'll eat everything, pero they offered him a Chick-fil-A fry, and he did not eat the Chick-fil-A fry.
Pero, ¿qué se come? Everything else?
Like everything else, like if he finds anything else.
Nopal?
Pero no un Chick-fil-A fry. Y
Interesting.
menos si son los
No, es que
turtlebacks.
He's trying to watch his figure?
No, I just think he wanted all the other fries, just not Chick-fil-A fries. Like, just particularly not Chick-fil-A fries. He won't eat. That's what the doctor said.
But I wonder why.
A lo mejor no le llama la atención that kind of fry. I don't know.
Or maybe there's a certain smell to it.
Maybe. Pero dijo que esas fries, no. And, like, we were all offering him a fry. Not me, because I didn't have fry. I was trying to give him a tomato, but he didn't want my tomato.
Oh, tampoco quería tomato, pues.
Because he's not healthy queen.
No.
Pero quería una fry. So the other girls were offering him fries. And no, él no quería esas fries. Pero si le hubieras ofrecido de McDonald's, esas están chidas.
Ah, pues, ¿quién no va a aceptar fries en McDonald's?
Pues no sé, pero apparently Yoshi will not eat fries de
Chick-fil-A.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, everything is great.
Same
Same old. So what we got today, sister?
So for today's case, we are going to Columbia, Missouri. I know we were just in Columbia, South Carolina.
Uh-huh.
But now it's Columbia, Missouri.
Sí. Okay. And if y'all hear my stomach, I'm sorry. I'm trying to chug this Bloom because I need some energy. I needed to do like magic. Like, I told the Bloom I had a talk with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Y le dije, if you've ever done anything for me, please, today is the day.
Please
do something because I need this energy.
You don't want an espresso shot?
No, because I don't have espresso shots right now. So this is what we got. So we're going to make it work. So if you would like to go with us to Columbia, Missouri, go ahead and grab your Bloom or your Cafecito.
Or anything else that has caffeine in it.
And let's get started.
The fun, random, interesting facts are that...
Oh, lo con ese.
Number 1, Columbia is often referred to as, quote, College Town, USA.
Okay.
Due to its 3 prominent higher education institutions.
Have we been there before? I feel like we have.
In Columbia, Missouri?
Maybe? No?
I can't recall.
College Town? No?
No.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
we've been to other college towns.
Maybe, yeah. Okay.
Pero aquí es because it has 3 prominent higher education, pinche mosquito, institutions.
Mm-hmm.
The University of Missouri,
Okay.
Stevens College, and Columbia College.
Okay.
So they're all like college town, you know?
Okay, so hay una más tras otra.
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
3 in the same tri-state area.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah. And number 2, This one is wacky.
A wacky?
This is kind of like the...
Did you just say wacky? Who the fuck says wacky?
Me, bitch?
Okay, bitch.
According to ColumbiaMissourian.com.
Not Missourian.
Yeah, the ColumbiaMissourian.com. It is illegal to dry clothes on a line, but not to drape them over a fence.
What the fuck? So you can put them over the fence,
but you can't hang a line and dry them that way.
Wow, that is intense.
Like, I wonder what happened to make them draw up this law and say we cannot. Maybe there's a dark history behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or maybe like what was it that said
no lines, no lines,
not having any dry lines
for nothing.
Pinches cicadas a la verga.
Can you hear them?
I hope that you can, so that you can know that I hate cicadas with all my heart.
Why?
I don't know. They're just so noisy.
Yeah, that's true.
Chingando. Like, shut up.
Maybe they're gossiping.
I mean, dude, I get it. It's hot outside, but shut up. Like, I already know.
No, but hot is their season, no?
Sí, por eso te digo.
Pero por eso andan chismeando, I think.
Like, oh, girl, it's so hot out here.
Oh, fuck, we're going to hell.
We're going to hell.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, that's crazy, though.
Yeah, so just know that's a wacky.
Not the wacky.
Should we include fun, random, interesting, wacky facts?
No, we're not doing wacky facts. First of all, you can't even say wacky facts. What? I was going to say fun. Run. I said fun. What the fuck? Fun, random, interesting, wacky.
No, that's too much, ¿verdad?
That's too much. Wait.
No, we can barely say the fun, random, interesting.
Yo nada más digo fun fact.
Sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're random, sometimes they're interesting,
wacky. You remember that one that you did a while ago? Probably like when we first started. You could have only one cow or something like that.
I think it was in California,
something like that.
Yeah,
y que nada más puedes tener una vaca, like. Bro, no puedes tener dos vacas, güey.
No, and I think there's one here in Texas. I don't know if you're aware or whatever, but that you can only own a certain amount of dildos. And if not, it's illegal.
You took it left.
No,
you took it left.
It's illegal.
Why are we talking about dildos? Right
I don't know. I'm just talking about wacky, fun, random, interesting facts. You know,
is there like wacky and dildos in the same?
Isn't that wacky though? Like why?
Why? I
don't know. What's the dark history behind?
Maybe you threw the dildo at somebody.
How many?
Like
I think you can only own like 6 or something. Don't quote me on that, but there's a limit to how many you can own in Texas.
Did you look that up so that you can know how many you can have?
No. Do you want me to look it up?
Please do.
Okay.
I really need to know.
Okay. Do a little like background music. Meanwhile, look it up, like elevator music.
I'm the cicada scream. That's the background.
Wow, people's ears are hurting.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Okay, it says... This is so stupid.
Yeah.
You want me to read it?
Please.
Under current Texas law, specifically Section 43.23 of the Texas Penal Code.
Penal?
Penal? Yeah.
Might as well.
It's generally illegal to possess.
Wow. Okay.
Possess 6 or more obscene devices, which includes dildos. The law.
What's an obscene device?
A dildo or
just a dildo?
All right, I guess anything else that's obscene. I don't know. Maybe you should look up what obscene means
devices
in the penal code.
In the penal code,
it says the law presumes an intent to promote, sell, or distribute if a person possesses 6 or more such devices.
Oh, so then if you have more than 6, you're selling them.
Yeah.
But what if you just like different kinds?
I don't know. Como if you guys listen to Las Alucines.
That's our shit.
Our podcast. Cuando Lupita was talking about that party that she went to and then se fue arriba to use the restroom.
And
y tapó el baño.
Destapar el baño con el dildo.
Yeah.
That was literally what was going on.
But anyway, it's time to get
Anyway.
Yeah,
but,
sorry. But yeah, those are the fun, random, interesting facts. It is illegal to,
But you can't throw the clothes.
Them over the fence.
Over the fence.
Okay.
But I like the way that they were like... It's okay that you can't have like a clothesline, pero si quieres,
si tienes cerca,
you can just dry them there. So I mean, it gives them a little bit of an option.
Or put them in your dryer. I mean, I don't know how old this is, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
Okay. Now we're gonna begin this case with Jesse. Jesse James Wade Valencia was born on February 22nd of 1981 in Danville, Kentucky. Can you hear the cicadas?
The cicadas, otra vez, estoy diciendo.
They're gonna be the background singers in this episode.
They're literally gonna be the background.
Hopefully, they get drowned out when we edit the podcast. His mom's name is Linda Valencia, and she had Jesse when she was 21. Mm-hmm. It would just be the two of them for a while until Linda, I believe, got remarried and then went on to have 2 girls with her new husband. So eran 3 in total. It was Jesse and then his 2 younger sisters. She and Jesse were very close. She went on to state that since Jesse was a little boy at the age of 6, which is actually kind of creepy, and she would say it a lot. She said that he would often tell her that he knew he was going to die at a young age.
Oh, wow.
And she said que he sat her down and would often repeat it to her so she could get used to the idea.
What the fuck? Mm-hmm. That would be so scary.
I know. Growing up, Jesse was described as a people person. He never had any issues making friends. He was always smiling and laughing. And according to Linda, at the age of 10, Jesse told her that he was gay.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that he did so while crying, and told her that he was scared to tell her because he thought that she was going to hate him. Yeah. But, Linda loved her son and she supported him, And during his teenage years, Jesse, he bloomed after, I guess, he was able to acknowledge that to his mom.
You imagine not being able to say who you are, or be who you want to be just because you're scared. That's so
and especially
not, okay.
Not being able to say that to or to a family member, especially to your parent.
Yeah, because you always grow up trying to be an example for your parent or not example,
make them proud.
Make them proud of that. Entonces the whole time you're quieres que te quieran, and then you're thinking this is gonna be the breaking point. They're gonna not love me.
Yeah. So
pobrecito.
No, but Linda, great mom. She supported him, and as I just said, Jesse bloomed in his teenage years, and he was an open book. He siempre le decía todo a su mom, and she was he even shared a little bit too much. I
have that problem with my daughter. I'm like, girl, sometimes you just have to keep that to yourself. You don't tell. I mean, it's okay. And
I'm glad that you can tell me those things.
But that's what, as a parent, you kind of are okay, so la dejo que me diga todo, and then you end up kind of cringy about it. But at the same time, you're I just listen. And, because it.
Maybe that's all they want,
Yeah, they just want to listen. And I'm just well, you know what? Pero sometimes I'm just inside of me, I'm oh my God, this girl, Pero I'm pretty sure his mom was the same way. Este niño que trae.
Yeah. Like I just said, he'd tell her everything. He was outspoken and loved to talk to anyone about anything.
Me?
He would make conversation con una pared, I'm pretty sure. He knew everything about everything, and people just knew that he was going to go on and do big things in his life. Mm-hmm. After high school, he tried modeling.
Okay.
And he did well. And Linda believed that it was going to be his career path after he graduated from high school. But to her surprise, a year later, he decided that he wanted to become a lawyer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he decided.
Girl, that is
I know.
Going left. That's crazy.
From modeling to a lawyer.
You can be a hot
commodity
model lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. You could be the face of the lawyers.
He had that face. He was a model.
Oh, cute.
I could see you Ian Abercrombie and shit.
Ay, qué padre.
So he decided to leave the small town of Perryville, Kentucky, and attended the University of Missouri in Columbia. Missouri, in case you forgot.
Yeah.
Where he studied journalism and was also a history major, and then planned to attend law school afterward. Mm-hmm. So in college, of course, he had a big social circle.
Yeah.
He had a lot of friends, a very active social life, and he also worked at the campus and motel. So in 2004, Jesse was a junior, and as the school year was winding down that June, students were celebrating by letting loose and having fun partying. Puro pinche party, bam, 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 bam.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I want to go to all the parties.
And he was 23 at this point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was so young.
Yeah. So on the afternoon of June 5th at around 2 p.m., Matt Finucane, I think that's how you say his last name, Finucane.
Okay.
Finucane.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, sir. Who lived at 1513 Wilson Avenue, discovered a dead body between his house and another.
Okay, outside.
Outside.
Okay.
And like the lawn and like the yard.
What the fuck?
But like between the two houses. The body was that of a male who was lying on his back and dressed just in blue running shorts. As he looked closer, Matt saw that the victim had a very apparent slit to the throat with blood running down the side of the neck and onto the shoulders. And he immediately called 911. You can imagine you're just like walking outside your house in the afternoon. They're probably barely waking up from the parties and shit. And then
all of a sudden, bam, there's somebody tirado ahí nada más. Muerto. Like, what the fuck? Sí, me saca de onda cuando veo una cucaracha. ¿Te imaginas, like, una cucaracha muerta?
Or
like,
un sapo or something.
Or a dog, like, that somebody runs over. And I get, like, so sad. You imagine, like, just walking by and seeing somebody dead, no?
And I always wonder, like, do you tell yourself, there's no way, right? Like, that's, no.
I'm pretty sure I would be like, no es cierto.
I need to go take a closer look because there's no way.
There's
like,
no way.
Yeah.
But, and then at the same time, I'd be like, but do I want to look that close?
But I think the curiosity.
I would look.
Yeah.
Ooh. Would you look?
Yeah, I think the closer I would get to it, I don't know, obviously. I think it would just be like, I need to call 911 because I can't get any closer. Me daría, like,
I've never seen a dead
I wouldn't be able
before,
to handle it.
I can't even handle, like I said, a bug or anything. Yeah. So I don't know.
Upon initial inspection of the victim and his injuries, police were able to determine that it was a homicide. Mm-hmm. Since the victim had no identification, they began to work on identifying him. And so they went from door to door asking neighbors if they knew who he was. But they initially had no luck. It wasn't until a little bit later when a guy named Jack Barry arrived on the scene and told investigators that the victim was Jesse Valencia. And that he was his former boyfriend.
Wow.
Yeah. He stated that he lived a few blocks away and he had been informed by a friend that Jesse was dead. So finally, they had someone they could talk to and move forward within the investigation because it had been a couple of hours apenas.
Yeah, pero dices tú que he didn't have anything on his body, right?
No.
Like he was just wearing shorts.
Yeah, shorts.
Pero ni zapatos ni nada. No. Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. Before detectives spoke to Jack formally, they first asked him for help in reaching out to Jesse's family and informing them of his death.
Oh my God, imagine his mom, dude.
Yeah, y de por sí su mom didn't want him to leave the state to go to college. She was like, why can you stay in Kentucky? So the fact that he ended up leaving and then, this happened, I can't imagine.
Mm-hmm. It's like every parent's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Like to get that phone call,
Yeah.
I would not want to be in her shoes.
Now that they had the victim's identity, detectives learned that Jesse lived a couple of houses down or a couple of houses up from where he was found, like 5 houses or something.
So no estaba tan lejos.
Mm-mm. After speaking to his neighbor, Christopher Kepner, who lived right next door to Jesse, they learned that after 3 a.m, he heard a quote-unquote bumping coming from Jesse's side of the wall, which woke him up because he was trying to go to sleep.
Oh, okay. So neighbor meaning like vivían en el mismo...
Like right next to each other. Like
en el mismo cuarto?
No, apartments like
okay,
for like students.
For students.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. A lot of students lived in that area.
¿Cómo se les llaman esos?
Not dorms, but like off-campus apartments or something like that.
Pero sí se oía, o sea, cuando...
Yeah, because they said that the walls were very thin,
Okay, got it. Okay. So he heard a thump.
Yeah, he said he heard bumping around 3 a.m.
Okay.
And que lo despertó because he was trying to go to sleep. I think he had just gotten back from a party or something. And then Christopher said that the bumping continued down the hall to the front door. Like he could hear it moving. Yeah.
Okay. Pero no screaming ni nada.
He then heard a voice that sounded kind of like intoxicated somewhat, saying, "Stop it, stop it."
Oh.
And then it said, quote, "No, I'm not sleeping in the car." And he said that he heard 2 voices. And when he got tired of the loud noises, he yelled back something across, so they could hear him on the other side. Yeah. He said, "Yeah, that's right. Stop it. It's late.
It's late. Yeah.
Afterward,
I just got home from party. Let me sleep.
Yeah. The school year was winding down, so I'm sure they probably were done with classes. So afterward, the noises stopped after he screamed that over the wall. And then he added that later in the morning when he actually got up and that he went outside around 10 or 11 in the morning, he saw that Jesse's door was half open.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, when searching Jesse's apartments, detective found his phone, which showed that he had called Jack at 3:18 in the morning.
Okay.
Or the morning or later that night, I guess, because, they were up from the night before, This aligned with the time frame that his neighbor Christopher had said that he had heard those bumping and those voices because he said it was after 3 a.m. When Jack sat down with detectives, he told them that he and Jesse had recently split up after having dated for 2 years. And he was currently in the process of getting Jesse to understand that it was really over between them. I guess it appeared that Jesse had been having a hard time moving on, but Jack wanted to move on. Like he was actually already beginning to see someone else.
Okay.
Hearing this, detectives again wondered if maybe Jack had gone over and the two voices that Christopher had heard were Jesse and Jack arguing, and that the possible argument may have led to Jesse's
like
death,
an escalation and they got in.
Yeah, maybe they were intoxicated y se empezaron a agarrar de la greña or something, when asked for his alibi, Jack stated that he was home alone sleeping.
Yeah. Okay.
So without having anyone to corroborate his alibi, he became a person of interest. But Jack stated that he had nothing to do with Jesse's murder, and again stated that he was at home sleeping when he heard a knock at his door at 3:18 in the morning.
Okay.
And then at the same time got a call from Jesse's cell phone.
So everything happened at the same time at 3:18?
At 3:18, yeah.
Okay.
Jack, knowing that it was Jesse at his door, didn't want to deal with him at that time of night. So he went back to sleep and didn't answer the door or the phone call. Because according to Jack, that's something that Jesse did. Like he'd knock, y si no le contestabas, he'll call you on the phone at the same time as he was at your door.
Okay.
So that's something that he did.
So I guess he was expecting like, este está aquí parado,
Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to try to deal with this because he probably wants to like
come in
or like hook up or something. Yeah. So Jack was questioned for hours, but he maintained his story. And, eventually he broke down and stating that he regretted not opening the door that night because if he had, Jesse would have still been alive. And his emotions seemed genuine to detectives. So if he hadn't been involved, they asked him, if he had any idea who could have killed Jesse. And he stated that he had no idea. He had no clue. Now, of course, they let him go because they don't have anything on him,
Yeah.
Detectives begin to speak to Jesse's big circle of friends and attempt to find any type of lead. And in doing so, they heard one name over and over again from friends. Jesse Valencia.
Okay.
So I think that's how you say his last name, sir. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Fine-Tooth.
Fine-Tuck?
I don't know. I'll be changing everybody's name.
Okay, sorry. Mr. Seth.
Mr. Seth.
So Seth and Jesse had met 2 weeks prior at a political rally.
Okay.
Okay. According to Jesse's friends, there was something off about Seth.
Okay. Well, first of all, his name is Seth.
Yeah.
With an F.
No, with the V. Seth.
Okay. So that's already off. It should be Seth.
It's a Z. C-E-V.
¿Ves? ¿Ya ves?
Seth.
It's off. Por eso.
Dude, but that's not his fault.
No, pero Mr. Fine-Tooth, no.
Fine-Tick. Wait, you have to know what he does and then you can forgive his name.
Okay, fine.
So Seth was kind of described as him maybe not being comfortable in his own skin.
Okay.
And when he and Jesse began to spend time together, a lot of time together, people began to wonder if maybe there was some sort of romantic relationship going on between him and Jesse. So the night of Jesse's death, it was reported that someone matching Seth's description was seen walking down the street barefoot, crying, and looking disheveled.
Okay.
Also, a car that he was known to drive was seen in the area también. When detectives were able to speak with Sev, he was asked about his and Jesse's relationship, and he stated that they were just friends. That's what he maintained, and he was asked about his whereabouts that night of the murder between, the times of 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. And like Jack, he said that he was at home sleeping. Okay. He was then submitted to a voice stress test, which I had never heard of.
I never heard of that.
I didn't know that. Polygraph? Yeah. A voice stress test?
But you never know. Maybe they do a lot of different things to see if they can. Pero como like they're putting your voice to be like, are you going to be stressed? Or you can, know?
Yeah, I guess they ask you questions kind of like a polygraph test. And then how do they hook you up to a polygraph test? Is it through
Las manos. No,
like,
te ponen una aquí en la chest y uno en la panza.
Like if they're checking your blood pressure?
Then, no, y luego uno en el dedo.
So I wonder how the voice stress test, like, do they put them up to your throat?
No sé.
I'm
going to Google it.
Okay, so I'm going to continue. Meanwhile, you Google that. His results were not good.
Girl, pero how can you... Okay.
They showed that he was being untruthful.
But so then it's a polygraph test.
But on his voice, not his...
Okay, so it says voice stress analysis test is technology used to detect deception by analyzing changes in a person's voice patterns.
Okay.
So dice que it's used by law enforcement investigators as an investigative tool. So it's a substitute for a polygraph test.
Okay.
So dice que a microphone is used to record a person's voice while they answer questions. Then the software analyzes the recorded voice for subtle changes in frequency.
Oh, girl. I would fail that immediately.
I'm always trying to change my voice. Like
I go high, I go low.
Sometimes I'm like, that didn't sound good. Let me say it different.
Again. And then I'd be like, hey.
Yeah. ¿Qué pedo? You know, so.
And they put a pinche body.
Hey. So which are believed. Okay, so basically it's believed that those are indicators of stress. This software then displays these changes on a chart, which an examiner interprets to assess the likelihood of deception.
Maybe in 2004 it was more.
Yeah, I don't think
newer.
Do they still use that now?
Quien sabe, but I'm just saying I had never heard about it before in a case until right now. But as I mentioned, his results showed that he was being untruthful. So since Sev lived at home with his parents, detectives paid them a visit to confirm his alibi, which they did, stating that Sev was home all night. According to them, when Sev left the house and to use a car, he would go through the garage.
Y se oía.
Hacía puro pinche ruido.
Yeah.
So
mine does too, because my house is old. So it's like,
yeah. So,
como las pinches cicadas, bro.
Ya se callaron. So exactly that. So they were like, if he would have left in la madrugada, they were like, we would have heard it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Sev was later cleared as a suspect. Now detectives knew that they had to go back and piece together Jesse's night.
So wait, they cleared him because his parents said that he was home, pero he didn't do good on the stress test.
Right. Pero how, if you can't really depend on a polygraph test, why would you really depend on a stress test? You know what I mean?
But they use it.
Yeah, pero they do polygraph tests. You can cheat both of them. You know what I mean?
That's true. I would suck at that test.
Same seas.
Yeah.
Now, detectives knew that they had to go back and piece together Jesse's night.
Yeah, but ¿para dónde le dio y todo?
Yeah, y con quién, ¿verdad? Yeah, if he was. They learned from friends that he attended a house party at 11 p.m. on June 4th after he had gotten off work. Later in the night, he left the party that he was at with Ed McDevitt at around 2 a.m. to 2:30 a.m.
Okay. ¿Y dónde está Ed?
I'm about to tell you where Ed was.
Where Ed McDevitt is.
Investigators tracked down 22-year-old Ed McDevitt
baby.
And brought him in for an interview.
¿Qué pedo contigo, Dev? Oh, no. Le dije Dev.
Ed. El otro era Sev.
Ay, no. Está muy confuso eso.
Y luego Jack.
Yeah. Ay, no.
I'm telling you, he was a social butterfly.
Yeah, which is great, but at the same time, it's like, fuck. Like, that's a lot.
And remember. It's hard. It's just harder when you're trying to figure out who did this to him, you know?
Yeah. Y pobrecito, the fact that he was a social butterfly, but then somebody killed him.
I know.
Why?
He stated that he and Jesse had recently just met at a club the night before.
Oh, they just met?
Literally. Like a couple of days at most.
Wow. Okay.
They hooked up that night that they met and then made plans to hang out. So on June 4th, Ed and Jesse were at the same party. They didn't go there together, I don't think. Ahí se juntaron, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And they did leave together, as, you know, I just mentioned. According to Ed, they walked across the street to another party.
Okay.
You know, where they stayed and left after 3 a.m.
After 3 a.m.
After 3 a.m.
Okay.
Okay. They talked outside on the sidewalk for a little bit, and Jesse invited Ed back to his place, but he declined since tenía que ir a trabajar the next morning. The two made plans to get together on Sunday night. So they went their separate ways, and at around 3:13, right, 3:13, Jesse called Ed on the phone.
Okay.
And they had already, one was walking to his apartment and the other one was walking to his apartment. And they talked as they both walked home for a little bit. It seemed like Jesse again had called Ed to convince him to go back to his place. Pero again, he declined. When he arrived back home, he said that his roommate was up, the Ed, to corroborate his story.
Para decir, hey,
I saw him.
I saw him
at this time, right? Mm-hmm. So to corroborate his story, detectives spoke with their roommate and searched the apartment, and it appeared that everything Ed had stated was true. Mm-hmm. His talking to Jesse on the phone on the way home was also verified through phone records. Mm-hmm. So just like Jack and Seth, Ed was cleared as a suspect. The next day, after Jesse had been found on June 6th, Jesse's autopsy had been completed. In her report, DME Dr. Valerie Rao noted that Jesse's causes of death was the cut to his neck, and the time of death was between 3 and 5 in the morning. His neck wound was about 4 inches long and so deep that it cut his jugular veins, and it nicked the spine.
Damn, that was deep. Like they went like.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to make that noise, but
yeah.
Like I don't know how it
some
sounds,
force.
But
like it was it was bad. Other injuries noted on his body were various contusions on his head, right arm and wrist, and left wrist, upper lip, jawline, left ear, abdomen, hips, and knees.
What?
With the majority of them being on his upper chest and back, like right between his shoulder blades.
Pero como que lo estaban estirando.
Like bruises. He had bruises in all those places.
But that's like, did they beat him up or something?
We'll get there. It is also noted that Jesse had petechial hemorrhaging in the eyes, which is consistent with being choked. Now, due to the lack of defense wounds, porque no tenía, and blood on the rest of his body, when he was found, it was determined that Jesse was unconscious, lying on his back at the time that his neck was cut.
Oh, so was it post-mortem?
No, not necessarily, but... For example, if his throat had been cut and he was running, there would have been blood like on his feet, on his body, okay. And it wasn't none of that. It was literally just like on his neck.
Pulled right here.
Yes.
Okay.
So whoever had killed Jesse had either taken him by surprise somehow and overpowered him.
Not only that, but they were making sure that he was dead.
Yeah. Imagine.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have...
Porque ya estaba tirado.
He was on the floor.
And then they were like, let's make sure that he, doesn't get up.
But like, how do you, I can't, the force that it must take to like nick somebody's spine by cutting their neck. I feel like
maybe the knife was really sharp, and then on top of that, the force that they were putting
That's what I'm saying. Like imagine the force. Like, how do you do that to somebody? You know what I mean? Like I'm never able to like fully wrap my mind ahead, around that. And I don't want to, but it's just crazy.
No, I don't want to know.
También you don't want to know about that.
No.
Physical evidence was recovered during the autopsy, such as scrapings from under his fingernails and also some hair found on his chest that didn't belong to him, and it was sent for analysis. As the investigation continued, detectives were still speaking to many of Jesse's friends. One of them specifically, who was brought in the next day after Jesse's body had been found, was Andy, sorry sir, Shermanhorn.
No mames, not Shermanhorn.
Yeah. Andy, pues.
Andy
Shermanhorn.
Girl, these names.
I'm sorry.
We're the Garcias and the Rodriguez and all of that. No,
girl, I can't even say that because I'm not even none of that. Gurrusquieta.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Yeah.
Detectives learned from Andy that he and Jesse had a friends with benefits type of arrangement. He stated that he wasn't in town when Jesse was killed, but had other information that he felt that they needed to know.
Okay.
According to Andy, Jesse was having a sexual relationship with a Columbia police officer.
What?
It is also reported that a Crime Stoppers tip was received by police with that information on June 6th. So I'm assuming it was Andy that submitted it. I'm not quite sure. And then he was maybe brought in to, talk to them about it.
What the hell?
So he stated that in the very early hours of May 14th, he had been over at Jesse's when there was a knock at his door around 3 in the morning to 3:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Everything happened at 3 in the morning.
Bruh.
La hora del diablo, güey.
La hora del diablo, güey.
Yeah.
Ya sabes, güey.
When Jesse opened the door, there was a uniformed police officer at his door.
Okay.
Jesse said something along the lines of, hey, it's okay, it's cool. I don't know if he either said it to the officer or to Andy in the room. And so the officer came inside. One thing led to another, and the three of them began to fool around. Afterward, when the police officer was getting ready to leave, he said to Andy that things needed to be kept a secret.
Okay.
And asked him for his name. And Andy responded that if things needed to be kept a secret,
then you don't need my name.
Exactly.
You know what, Andy? You're fucking smart.
Right. He said, we're not talking about this. And then he said, what? We're not talking about what?
And I already forgot.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea.
Detective asked Andy if he could recognize the officer if he saw him. And he stated that yes, since it had just been a couple of weeks since that happened.
Not only that, but I mean, if you're in their face, like making out and shit, like you're going to remember who you're fucking making out with.
I would hope so, you know.
Yeah.
It depends. So he was walked to another room where he was going to be shown, I think, like either like a photo book or a yearbook of police officers for Colombia. So he was sat down and started combing through the book. And he wasn't really looking through the photos or anything. And then he just suddenly closed the book. And he started shaking. And then he said that he had passed the officer in the hallway just now.
Oh, shit.
And that officer's name was Stephen Arthur Rios.
Okay. Stephen Arthur Rios.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, when this information was brought up to Stephen's captain, or the captain of the Columbia Police Department, Sim Schwartz.
Ay, chingada madre.
She believed that Andy must have been mistaken about Stephen.
Girl.
That it wasn't possible.
I'm sorry, but these officers.
She knew Stephen well and stated that he was married to a wonderful young lady named Libby, and the two had just welcomed their first child. I think the baby was like 4 months or something. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but Stephen was a well-regarded officer in the force.
Yeah, pero...
He had been with the force for 4, maybe 5 years and was described as a rising star in the department. He was very ambitious. He was a go-getter and then described as a popular officer. I don't know what that means.
I mean, he was cool.
I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know if like within the police department he was cool.
Maybe that's how they I don't know how police officers roll, you know? But maybe that's how it is, you know? I don't know.
They're just be like, oh, man, no, he's cool.
Oh, no, man, he's cool. You know? I mean, I know that person or I've heard about him or whatever. He's an upcoming police officer.
Rising star.
Rising star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He writing them reports, girl. He pulling people over and shit.
Yeah, getting all of the people.
He meeting the quotas.
Yeah, meeting quotas. Yeah. Oh, I knew about him. I heard he stopped somebody that had cocaine.
Yeah.
You know, shit like that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Regardless, detectives knew that they had to get Stephen's side of the story, but weren't able to write.
Officer Sims? Is that the
captain?
The captain?
She.
Miss Captain Sims? I'm going to need you
Schwartz. Schwartz.
I'm going to need you to bring him in, girl. Come on.
Detectives knew they had to get Stephen's side of the story, but they weren't able to right away since he was out of town for a couple of days on a camping trip with coworkers.
Oh, he went on a camping trip. At that moment.
At that moment in time.
Particular time. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the meantime, investigators began to trace his steps on the day that Jesse's body was found.
Okay.
Right? So they learned that Stephen Rios worked that day, his regular shift, and he went in between 6 to 6:30 p.m. Es cuando empezaba.
Oh, so trabajaba de noche.
Yes. Mm-hmm. When he asked Sergeant White about a homicide that had happened on his patrol route, and he was told it was Jesse Valencia, he stated that he knew him since he had previously arrested him on April 18th.
What?
He was then asked to go to the scene to help identify Jesse, which he did, and then he spent the majority of his shift at the crime scene, kind of guarding the body, que no se acercara nadie ni todo eso. And
okay, say that again. So who was guarding the body?
Stephen Rios.
Stephen Rios.
Yeah, he was asked to because he said, "Hey, I know him. I arrested him in April."
Okay.
So, initially when they were trying to figure out who it was, they needed to help identify, So he went and they're like, hey, can you go?
Okay.
And see if that's him?
Because I imagine que si les hubiera dicho I knew him, like, personally, they wouldn't have let him go to the crime scene, right?
I don't think so, because it's kind of like a conflict of interest.
That's what I think.
So he's like, hey, I just arrested him maybe like a couple of weeks ago, hey, 6 weeks ago.
So go make sure that that's who you arrested or whatever.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
It's like Jesse Valencia. Okay. And then he said, yes, that's him. And then he stayed there majority of his shift, guarding the body and stuff.
Do they have records of where he did?
He was there. Like, they have video of him.
No, I know, wait. Pero do they have records of him?
The arrest?
The arrested?
Yeah, I'm actually about to get into it right now.
I was about to say, where is it say that he really did arrest him?
Yeah, so when the incident report was reviewed about that arrest, it stated that there was a house party on the night of April 17th, which rolled into the early hours of April 18th that received a noise complaint 3 times.
Oh, shit.
Puro pinche party.
Puro pinche party.
I mean, it's college kids, And so CPD showed up to get it to quiet down. On the third call, that's when Stephen Rios and two other officers showed up to the party. Mm-hmm. The other 2 officers went inside to try to get things to settle down, and Jesse was outside sitting down with somebody else, and then Steven walked up to them and told them that they needed to leave. Mm-hmm. Jesse responded something smart-assy, and then they refused to leave, and then they were both arrested for obstruction of a police operation and were issued like a court summons. Now, when they spoke to Jesse's mom, Linda, that information was verified through her, and she said that, that he was arrested on April 18th, and that she recalled that Jesse told her that the officer who took him to jail was nice, but he made him feel uncomfortable because he kept asking him personal questions that had nothing to do with why he was being arrested.
Oh, wow.
And this was on the drive to the police station.
Okay.
Because, it was 2 of them that got arrested because estaba otro con Jesse afuera, and Jesse was placed in Steven Rios' cop car, and then the other guys was placed in a different cop car. Mm-hmm. Now, the next day after his arrest, that same officer showed up at his apartment and said that he needed to ask him more questions. And again, the questions that Jesse was asked were more personal than anything. And after that, the 2 went out a few times. And the officer would show up at Jesse's apartment unannounced, even while he was in uniform.
Okay.
That's all Linda was able to provide to investigators, but she did point them in the direction of Jesse's friend. Her name was Joan Sheridan, whom she knew that Joan had more information that she could give them.
Because probably Joan knew a little bit more about the relationship.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yes. Now, when investigators spoke to Joan, she confirmed that Jesse and the officer did go out more than once after his arrest. She said that Jesse told her that the officer would show up at his apartment after 3 a.m. and before 6 a.m. to have sex, and then he'd leave. Mm-hmm. She also recanted that the time she witnessed him at Jesse's apartment. One time being in early May when Jesse told Joan that she could go to sleep at his apartment because I think they were out at a party and she was tired and she wanted to go to sleep. So Jesse le dijo, hey, you go on to my apartment, you can crash there y yo al rato llego. Mm-hmm. So Joan se fue. And, she was trying to go to sleep when there was a knock at the door at 3 a.m.
Okay.
When she opened it, she saw the arresting officer from the month prior that had arrested him.
So she recognized him.
She recognized him, because she was at the same party that Jesse was when he got arrested. And he wasn't wearing a uniform. He was wearing civilian clothing. He asked for Jesse and also asked why she was there. Mm-hmm. Y Joan dice que le contestó diciéndole que, Jesse was at a party and that she was just there to sleep. He then offered her a ride home, which she declined. And then he left.
Okay.
Yeah. So she also went on to tell detectives that Jesse believed that since he was now sleeping or having sex with the officer, his arresting officer at that, he thought that the ticket that he was issued back in April was going to be dismissed. But that wasn't the case when he went to the summons for it, and that pissed him off.
Oh.
He thought it was going to go away. So according to Joan, on June 2nd, so just a couple of days before his death, Jesse told her that the next time he saw the officer that he was going to tell him that he had a little secret that the Columbia Police Department might want to know. Oh. If he didn't make the ticket disappear or get dismissed.
You didn't say that again. You said dicket.
If he didn't make the ticket.
You said dicket. Okay, dicket.
Want to know if the ticket didn't get dismissed. Mm-hmm. She then identified Officer Steven Rios from a lineup of photos that she was shown. And looking over everything that they had learned, Officer Steven Rios would have had a motive to kill Jesse Valencia, right? Mm-hmm. The motive was to keep him from talking about their affair, which would have, I guess, in his eyes, ruined his personal and professional life.
Yeah, because he's a star rising.
Newly father,
star rising.
Married to a nice young lady.
Yeah.
And he was popular.
Popular. Captain Sim, ¿se acuerda? ¿Te dijo?
Sim.
Whatever. Pero
Schwartz.
She said, pero ella dijo que he's rising stars.
Yeah.
Y ahorita anda camping el compa.
Yep. But before interviewing him, detectives wanted to wait for the DNA results to come back. Right, because you just can't.
Especially not an officer.
That's one of your own, right?
Yeah. I'm guessing that happens a lot. I mean, it's like, for example, if somebody is in the medical field or in the officers or even like a firefighter or an EMS, like they stick together. I mean, you stick
watch
together
out for each
and
other.
you watch out for each other. So I'm guessing that it's like a brotherhood.
I'm sure that they were having a hard time believing it.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Because they're like, dude, no, he comes in here, he has a wife, he
has just had a son,
just had a baby, whatever, and there's no way that he
does his job, he does
with
it well.
These little kids that are 22, whatever.
Oh, and he was 27.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, he's not gonna be
doing that type of shit. I mean, if you want to have an affair, that's one thing, but like to kill somebody,
that's
no. On June 8th, Rios himself spoke to his sergeant. He went up to...
Ya regresó.
Ya regresó de camping.
De camping.
Sí. So he spoke to his sergeant. He stated that he had heard about the Crime Stoppers report stating that Jesse was having an affair with a married CPD officer, and that the night that he gave him a ticket on April 18th, that was the only contact he had with him, and that it wasn't him.
Okay.
You know, he was covering all his bases. He said, yeah, I had contact with him, but that's it.
Yeah, I arrested him. That's it.
But even though like that was the only contact that they had, he said that I believe that Crime Stoppers report that came in, he's like, I think that's about me, but I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Oh.
Like it was not me. It's not me. I'm not the officer that is having a relationship with Jesse Valencia.
Pero I believe that they're talking about me.
Yeah, I believe that report
is about me.
It's about me, but I'm not doing what the report is saying.
The fuck?
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Get it together, motherfucker.
He was told that he needed to wait to speak on the matter until he was officially questioned by detectives, which happened right away, right? Yeah. Like it was like in that moment. Shortly after, he sat down with investigators and denied having any sort of sexual relationship with Jesse Valencia. But
Are you surprised?
No. But after being confronted with the information that Joan Sheridan had provided, he began to change his story.
Oh, okay.
You know, that happens sometimes.
Se acordó. I mean, you know.
You just need a little nudge, you know?
Just a little. Oh, yeah. I remember.
Somebody saw you over here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was there.
I
had forgotten.
I forgot.
He stated that he and Jesse had become social friends.
Oh, social friends. Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
22-year-old? Okay.
23.
23? Yeah. Okay.
But it never became anything like a sexual relationship. They were just social friends, whatever the fuck that means. After being pressed further and confronted with additional information, which I'm assuming is what they learned from Andy, how do you get out of that one?
How do you get out of Andy saying that he made out with your ass?
All three of you.
All three of you.
Yeah.
All three of them.
All three of them. A trapo.
A trapo.
That's what you call it, right?
Yeah.
He became agitated because the detectives weren't believing him, and then he finally admitted to having sex with Jesse. He first said that it was only one time, but then he was like, no, it was like 5 or 6 times.
Oh, okay.
When asked where he was that night that Jesse died, he said that he was at work, working his regular shift. He got off at 3, and then he and a few other officers went to the rooftop and had a few beers before they all went home. He said that he got home around 5:15, either 5:25 or 5:30 in the morning, took a shower, and then went to sleep. For over 3 hours that he was interviewed, Steven Rios maintained that he had nothing to do with Jesse's death, and they were like, okay, and he was allowed to go home. Now, having an affair, like we just said,
there's nothing wrong with
while married doesn't make you a murderer.
No.
And so while investigators believed he may have been involved, they needed more evidence against him. Like we were just saying, they just can't come out and say, oh, one of our own is a fucking suspect in this murder of this kid.
And not only that, but we sent him over there to take care of the body while everybody,
was like,
no.
The crime scene was being, So a timeline of Steven's alibi was compared to the night of Jesse's murder to see how it lined up. Steven Rios' wife, her name is Libby, confirmed that she was making a bottle for the baby when he got home around the time that he told investigators. Again, 5:15 to 5:25, 5:30 was. The other 3 officers that were up on the roof with him also confirmed that Steven got off at 3 and that they had beers on the rooftop afterwards. So, and then the security door records show that Steven left the rooftop maybe 4:37, 4:40 in the morning, which was about 45 minutes before he got home. Okay. So one of the detectives drove from the parking garage of, the police department to Jesse's apartment or house.
To see how far it is.
Right. Which took about under 5 minutes, maybe 3.5 at the most. Between 3.5 to 5 minutes. From there to Steven Rios' home was another 10-minute drive.
Everything was closed.
This left a window of maybe 20 to 30 minutes of unaccounted time for Steven Rios. So if you're looking at what you have now, there was a possibility or good enough of a time frame where, the crime could have been committed. Next, Rios' home, car, and work locker were searched, though there was nothing that pointed to him being Jesse's killer. Like, they didn't find anything. On June 10th, as the investigation continued, detectives were still awaiting the results of the DNA when Captain Schwartz, Miss Sim, received a call from Steven Rios. Okay. Or the police department received a call from Steven Rios. He was upset and crying, and he was on the phone saying that he had done a bad thing. And he stated that he was in Kansas City and had bought a shotgun and ammunition. And he was threatening suicide.
Oh, se va a matar.
Yeah. Okay. They, officers or what do you call those people that negotiators? They try to
calm him down.
De-escalate the situation, right? Okay. And tell him, hey, you need to come back to Colombia, whatever it is. We can get through it. You'll be able to get through it. You just need to calm down and come back. And sure enough, after speaking to a police negotiator, Steven was convinced to drive back the 150 miles to Colombia. Upon his return, he was admitted to Mid-Missouri Mental Health on a 96-hour hold under involuntary commitment. The following day, on June 11th, while under medical staff supervision, he managed to evade them and made his way to the top of the parking garage, standing on the ledge for almost 2 hours, again, threatening to commit suicide.
Okay.
It was like a 5-story garage or something like that.
Pero no se aventó.
During the time, police and negotiators arrived, and they were able to talk Steven off the ledge. He was then placed again in a more secure mental institution.
Yeah, because if he can get away.
Yeah, it was the Biggs Forensic Center in Fulton State Hospital, while detectives continued to investigate Jesse's murder and now Steven's possible involvement in it. Because now it's like, okay, if you didn't do it, why are you doing what you're doing? You know what I mean?
Not only that, but you're saying you did something bad. Te quieres matar porque ya they're cornering you to a point where you're like,
I don't see another way out.
I don't see another way out. And then now you're like, no, me voy a aventar.
But then you're saying that you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah. Aviéntate pues. Pero no se avienta.
And now they were like, because before they hadn't publicly named him a suspect or anything like that. Now it's like, okay, what's going on? Like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
So 3 weeks after Jesse's murder, the results came back for the DNA that had been collected. There were 3 hairs found on Jesse's chest, normally that come from someone's arm, and it was 1 in a 765.6 trillion match to Steven Rios.
Not trillion. Not the trillion.
So un pinche vergo.
Un vergo. Yeah, un vergo.
The injuries and contusions that Jesse suffered on his chest and back, according to investigators, were consistent with the chokehold that officers are taught to administer in the training academy.
Okay.
Also, DNA found under Jesse's nails matched 3 individuals, one being Jesse, the second Andy, and the third Steven Rios. Steven Rios was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action on July 1st, 2004, and he was held without bond. During his trial, which lasted about a week the following year, prosecutors' theory about how Jesse's murder happened was that after his shift, as he stated, that he went and had some beers up on the rooftop with fellow coworkers. After that, Steven went to Jesse's to have sex, but Jesse confronted him about the ticket that needed to be dismissed, or he was going to contact the chief of police. This pissed Steven off, and so they argued, which is what Jesse's neighbor must have heard. Jesse managed to run out of his apartment with Steven right on his tail. Steven managed to catch up to Jesse and grabbed him from behind and put him in a unilateral
chokehold,
vascular neck restraint, which is like the technical term for it, which rendered him unconscious. He then put Jesse on the ground and then cut his throat with a serrated knife that he often carried in his right rear uniform pants pocket. The motive, again, was to keep Jesse from spilling the secret of their affair. And now they were searching for this knife in his house, or they never found it.
No, I'm pretty sure
they never found it. Yeah,
he made sure that shit was gone.
The defense
argument in Kansas.
Allá la fue a tirar. The defense argument was that Steven couldn't have possibly had enough time to commit Jesse's murder and arrive home at the time that he did, because regardless of the DNA that they had found, it didn't really mean that Steven killed him. Like, you could have...
That's what I'm saying, because whenever you mentioned que tenía los hairs y que eso, I mean, they were having a relationship.
Right.
So they put some there with him, pero it doesn't mean that without a knife.
Right, without the actual murder weapon. So, so, you know, obviously the defense was trying to, you know, create reasonable doubt, right? But after deliberating for over 8 to 9 hours, the jury found Steven Rios guilty on both counts. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole on the murder charge and a consecutive 10-year sentence for the armed criminal action. He appealed his conviction, and in April 2008, the appeals court threw out the original sentence due to hearsay evidence used in the trial. He was retried later that year, in 2008, and was again found guilty, but this time of second-degree murder.
Of course.
He was again sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Oh, good.
He has, to this day, he maintains his innocence. He says that he did not kill Jesse. And his ex-wife, Libby, and her parents, so his ex-parent, his ex, like, they stand behind him.
Well, good for them.
They don't believe that he killed Jesse. And, yeah.
Well, good for them. But that's not what the evidence is showing.
And what the jury...
Exactly.
What the state was able to prove to the jury in court.
So they can think whatever they want.
They're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think?
Based on the evidence?
Yeah.
It's because I know what happened. So as soon as I know what happened, I'm like, oh, you did it.
You did it.
That's why I would never be able to be on a jury.
Me neither. Because I would be like, I don't give a fuck what you say to me. You did it.
Because to me, you know, of all the counts that Diddy wasn't found guilty of, to me, I was like, no, bro, you did it.
You did it. I don't give a fuck. That's what I would do.
Yeah, me too. I was like, no, bro, you did it.
So please don't put me on a jury, please.
No.
Because I would be the one that'd be like, no.
I've heard enough.
I've heard enough. Thank you very much, sir. Mr.
You hear one testimony and I'm like, that's it. Guilty.
Mr. Judge, sorry. That's it. I don't need to hear any more. He did it.
He did it. He done.
Put him in jail. Like, you know, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just, who else had motive?
Nobody had motive.
He was well liked. Yeah. He had a lot of friends.
Not only that, but the fact that somebody that would know exactly how to
render him unconscious.
So and then cut his neck, and it's like,
who would do that much? Who would go that far?
Exactly. Like, who would go that far to
make sure he died?
Like Andy said, like, he really did not want anybody to know that he was having a relationship with a gay man. Yeah. So he was gonna
do whatever it took to save his ass.
And then, like, who was the name?
Andy?
Joan said que he was gonna tell on him. Yeah. Because of the ticket, he was pissed. So if the sad part is that if he would have just been like, let me just pay my ticket and just get it over with and not even mention that, then
no, I mean, but it's not even that. But like, if you don't want to get caught, don't be doing shit that you shouldn't be doing.
Exactly. Then don't do it.
You know.
And if he was having a relationship with this guy, there's nothing wrong with that. But
I mean, you were married, so that's wrong, right?
Pero you don't have to kill somebody like that.
Yeah. Because your life is over anyway. I mean, you're not in your son's life. Like, they take him to go visit his dad, the boy. Pero like,
now
you're in prison.
Yeah, and you were rising stars.
You were rising stars, well regarded, rising star,
and going to camping and shit. And now you're fucking in jail. They're camping on your ass.
Yeah, in prison.
Excuse me. So yeah.
So that's the murder of Jesse Valencia. Dude, if you look him up, like, he looked like, I want to be your friend.
I would love to be his friend.
Yeah. He looked like, I want to be your friend.
Yeah.
Be my friend, please.
Please be my friend.
You sound like a good time.
Yeah. Pobrecito. And I do hope that his mom is finding peace. Of course, she'll never be able to move on, but finding peace in her heart, you know, because
that somebody,
but and then somebody so evil like that would just take his life over something. So don't be doing shit you're not supposed to be doing. If you don't want to get caught,
if you don't want people to know.
Exactly. Besides, there's nothing wrong with you being gay or bisexual or whatever you are.
Just don't be married and be doing it behind your wife's back.
And then lie. And then try to throw yourself. Bitch, aviéntate pues. A ver, quiero ver. No, pero no se quieren matar porque no tienen los huevos, but they want to kill people.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it. Well, let us know what you think. And thank you so much for joining us. If you would like to follow us, you can at
Cafecito and Crime Pod on Instagram. And if you would like to download our episodes, leave us a review and or rate us. We would really appreciate it. Also, if you want to share the podcast, that'd be great.
That'd be great. Send us a message. That'd be also
great.
Fantastic.
That'd be wacky.
That'd be wacky. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll talk to you in the next one.